Hello, Western Oregon sports fans, and welcome to this recap edition of Wolves Weekly. Joining me for the first time this season, we have head men's basketball coach Brady Bergeson. How are you doing today, Brady?
Great to be here, Danny. Thanks.
Got to be pretty happy being 3-1 right now on the season. 3 straight wins. Got to be a good little start to the year for you guys.
Yeah. You know, we gotten off to a decent start. Obviously, we got fortunate enough to win 2 close games here this weekend. You know, we got off on the right foot. We went out to Hawaii, a week and a half ago, and struggled early in that trip to get things going in the Chaminade game, and a good team there that gave us some problems. But our guys responded really well, bounced back, and were able to beat Hilo at their place the next day. And we had a good week of practice last week leading up to these 2 games. And you know, it is always good. It's nice early in the year to come out on the winning end of a couple of close games.
Interesting that you mentioned that. Usually when you talk to coaches, you can almost tell how they're going to do going into their games by how that first week or how that week is of practice leading into those ones. And you guys had a couple of grinders this last weekend that I'd like to talk through a little bit. You guys opened up the tournament against Cal State East Bay, team with some really good guards, and you had your guards, your senior trio of guards right there really stepped up.
They did, as our entire team did, really. And you know, we had some problems. They gave us some problems with the pressure and their athletic ability. And you know, I'll tell you what, we had a hard time getting the ball inside. You know, we were able to get downhill a little bit, attacking off penetration at times. But you know, at the end of the day, it came down to a possession game. And you know, our guards and just the 5 that were on the court were able to find a way to execute and get the critical stop at the end. As it wasn't textbook like you draw it up, but we found a way.
And you guys got then the opportunity the next night to play number 16 Augustana. Very similar game with a grinded out type of game. You guys were actually down 14 points in the first half, go on a 14-0 run to end the first half, tie it up at halftime, and it was really back and forth in the second half. But once again, you guys were able to get that basket and then get a couple critical stops at the end. Yeah,
you know, our guys did a good job. We were having a hard time stopping them, and they play a very different style than the night before with East Bay. And they do a great job of executing as a well-coached, tough team, disciplined, and they're not going to beat themselves. And you know, in that little 14-0 run that we had, it really came down to the defensive side of the ball. We were able to get stop after stop, and you know, and we took care of the defensive board, and it was one and done in there, which wasn't happening at the beginning of the half. You know, and our guys started attacking a little bit better, you know, and opening some things up on the offensive side. So it was good momentum going into halftime, you know, and the second half was really back and forth, short runs of 4 and 6 points, back and forth, a lot of lead changes in there. And, you know, again, it came down to the fact that, quite frankly, we got the stop at the right time. You know, the score and the stop at the right time. And, you know, that game could have gone either way at any point in time. But our guys found a way. They've got a lot of character. And, you know, I really feel like in the Augustana game, you know, it's hard to go back-to-back days, especially with close games. They're emotional. It takes a physical and an emotional and mental toll on you. And to get yourself to the point where you've got to really dig in hard, make it hurt in those last possessions of the game to execute and get through that. You know, I really felt like our conditioning became a factor and may have tipped the scales there at the end. We've got a conditioning program second to none, and I think our guys have really taken to it. And they get after it, they're into it, and I think that paid off. I think it showed in the end of that game.
Well, I guess on that same note, just got to ask you, are you happy you had the opportunity to play 2 close games compared to, I know you always want to win, let's say that's the most important, but instead of winning them by, we'll say 15 points, whereas maybe the last 2 minutes don't have quite as much impact on the game as these ones did, where every possession really mattered?
Well, if we have many of these, I'm going to have to start worrying about blood pressure. But as it ends up, you know, since you come out on top, it is good to have the situational games. And early in the year, because they'll prepare you for what's coming into league, and league is going to have you know, in this conference, you're probably going to be in a dogfight, in a situational battle late in a lot of those games. And to do that and get that experience and have some success and gain some confidence will help us.
Fantastic. Well, just want to make a quick mention there, as the Wolves did go 2-0 this last weekend at the West Oregon Phoenix Inn D2 Shootout. Blair Whedon was actually awarded the Great Northwest Athletic Conference Player of the Week. He scored 41 points in 2 games combined, made big shots for the Wolves down the stretch in both those games. So just want to give a congratulations to Blair out there. We'll have an opportunity to come back and talk with Brady a little later in the week as we'll preview the Capital City Classic. They'll take on Corbin to open up the tournament, and then they'll have the opportunity to play based on win or loss, either Montana Tech or Willamette. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us on this edition of Wolves Weekly, and please join us a little later in the week.